Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling Keystone Virtual College Exploration. This program is a partnership between StriveScan and PACAC for all Pennsylvania students. My name is Liz Frasini. I'm a college counselor at Wyoming Seminary. I'm also the chair of the PACAC College Fairs Committee, and I'm excited to welcome you today. A few housekeeping tips before we get started. This is a webinar feature of Zoom, so your camera and microphone are off and the panelists will not be able to see or hear you. If you do have questions for the panelists at any time, they will be monitoring the Q&A box. So just drop your questions into the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. Additionally, you signed up for today's session at the PACAC website, and we have a full schedule of sessions planned through November 6th. You can register for additional sessions or view recordings of any of our sessions, including this one today, at www.pacac.org/virtual. And now I will turn it over to your host from North Carolina State, NC State, right? NC State University. Okay, there you go.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Tante. I am an admissions counselor here. So let me just go ahead and share my screen first before we continue. Perfect. All right, so again, my name is Tante. I am an admissions counselor here at NC State. Thank you so much for joining this information session. It'll be around 30 minutes for the presentation, and then we do have time for a Q&A at the end. And I am joined by my colleague, Kaylee, who will be helping us facilitate Q&A. So let's just go ahead and get started. So NC State is located in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is the capital of the state. We're very central in our location. We're about 2 to 3 hours away from the beach, 3 to 4 hours away from the mountains. So we kind of do get the best of both worlds. And of course, on this screen, you do see a picture of our beautiful downtown Raleigh. And Raleigh is definitely a growing city. We are at the top of many lists as one of the best cities to live and work in as well. According to Forbes magazine in 2019, we are in the top 5 area for businesses and careers. And downtown Raleigh is actually about 3 miles away from our main campus, and that does provide both social as well as professional opportunities for our students. So in terms of social opportunities, they have local restaurants, museum, parks, concert venues to explore, and then professional opportunities. We do have government agencies, local businesses, and bigger corporations located right down the street as well. And then not only that, we're also about 30 minutes away from Research Triangle Park, RTP, which is the largest research park in the nation. So that does provide another great professional opportunity for our students. And NC State is the largest public institution in North Carolina. So we do have over 36,000 students, and around that, over 24,000 are undergraduate students. But I promise once you are here, you will definitely find your own community of thinkers and doers. NC State is definitely known for STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math. However, we are still a university of choice for students of the humanities and social sciences, business, design, and much more as well. And we are also one of the 2 research-intensive universities in North Carolina, so which means that you do have the opportunity to be engaged in undergraduate research as well. All right, so now we'll kind of give you a quick overview of our campus. So NC State is made up of 3 different areas. So right here on the screen, you do see main campus. And this is where many of our academic buildings are located, along with your residential buildings, dining halls, and much more as well. And then there is a live-on requirement for our first-year applicants, so which means that you will basically live on campus for your first year, and you will get to know this campus pretty well. The building that you see on the screen, that is Tally Student Union, and that is really the central hub of main campus. So you will find students socializing, shopping in the bookstore, dining at the different options that are available within Tally, studying, working group projects, and much more as well. And of course, our Student Involvement Center is also located inside Tally, and they support over 700 student organizations. Personally, I go to Tally to get ice cream. That is because at NC State, we do make our own ice cream as well. So after every midterm and finals, I'm definitely there just getting my sugar intake, so I am not as stressed anymore. And then in the background, you do see downtown Raleigh, but at the same time, you can tell that we are removed, so which means that we can still have that traditional campus lifestyle. And then our second part of campus is going to be Centennial Campus. So this is home to the College of Engineering and College of Textiles. So if we do have students that are interested in engineering or textiles, you will start to transition to this campus around your 2nd or your 3rd year. And also this campus is a research campus. So we do have over 70 businesses and government agencies located on here. So for example, the National Weather Service, the NC Wildlife Commission, Hanes clothing brand is located on here, among many other IT companies as well. So this campus really does bring corporate leaders and the university together to be engaged in research, teaching, and economic development. And then of course, in the top left corner, we do have a golf course that is a full 18 hole. So if you're a golf fanatic, you can definitely take advantage of that. And then the body of lake that you see is Lake Raleigh. And there's a really nice trail that students can take advantage of. So if you ever need to get a breather from the classroom, you have a nice trail that you can go running, walking, biking, and you can also go paddleboarding and kayaking inside the lake as well. And then of course, there is the only non-brick building that you may see on the screen, which is our Hunt Library. Kind of looks like a spaceship when you walk in. I personally think it feels like an airport when you walk in, and that's because you don't really find books. And so the building was really designed to provide a unique and collaborative space for our researchers and for our students. And so there are tons of study rooms that students can reserve. The windows are pretty much all glass. It brings in natural lighting. You can pretty much check out any type of tech devices that you may also need, from your laptop to your tablet to your 3D gear headsets. They have 3D printers, audio media production room, green screen room, podcast equipment. So anything that you may need for your project in a classroom, or whether it's for a personal project, you probably will find it at Hunt Library. And then of course, like I mentioned, we don't really keep the books out. And so what we do is that we kind of store them inside this warehouse. And so each of the vaults that you see, they do contain books. And then the robot that you're seeing that's moving is our BookBot. And so that is the mechanical retrieval system inside Hunt Library. And so what students can do is basically request their books through the laptop, phone, or your tablet. And then within 5 minutes, you can pretty much pick up your book. So we can actually store up to 2 million books inside the vaults. Right now we have 1.8 million, so we kind of have a few more to go, but this is just one of the ways that we do utilize technology to better serve our students. It's very impressive to see in person as well. And of course, between main campus and Centennial Campus, it's only a mile apart, so it is within walking distance. However, we do have a bus system that you can definitely utilize to get around, which is called the Wolf Line. So the Wolf Line is really accessible to many of our students. And of course, the app is pretty much free to download. And so it will tell you where the bus routes are, how full it is, and when the next one is coming. So this just makes it so much easier to get around campus and between campus. And this was actually developed by an NC State student as well. So we're very thankful for that. And then our last campus is going to be Centennial Biomedical Campus, which is home to our College of Veterinary Medicine. It is ranked number 4 in the nation, so we're very proud of that. This program is only a graduate level program at NC State, so which means that we do not offer any undergraduate courses on this campus. However, we do have a working farm as well as an emergency animal hospital located on the campus, and it does see over 20,000 patients a year. So which means that this campus really does provide great exposure for internship opportunity, research, or even to volunteer, and that hands-on experience as well. So if we do have students that are interested in pre-vet, pre-law, pre-health, or pre-med, you can definitely take advantage of this campus. And of course, we also do have a pre-professional advising program that can help you with the requisites needed, the hours, GPA recommendation, and all of that. So at the end of your 4-year degree program, you can hopefully have that successful admission to your graduate level program of your choice. And not on the picture is going to be the PNC Arena, which is where our basketball team play, and then the Carter Finley Stadium for our football team. All right, so NC State is ranked for number 1 for return on student investment in North Carolina. So on the screen, these are just the top employers that do recruit NC State students. And those that are in gray, they do have a higher level of recruitment activities on campus as well. So our Career Development Center, they do help students with resume writing, mock interviews, cover letters, and much more as well. And so we do highly encourage students to take advantage of that. And of course, throughout the entire academic year, they do have career fairs where all students are welcome to join in. And we also host the 2nd largest career fair in the Southeast. So our College of Engineering career fairs actually attract over 300 companies. So that's amazing. And we encourage all students to be proactive and definitely take advantage of that. And sometimes you might receive an email that says, hey, so-and-so is on campus and they would like to have, coffee chat with students. You can definitely stop by the Career Development Center as well, even if you're in your pajamas, and check out a wardrobe and have that professional attire ready for that conversation. information. So it's pretty much there and very accessible to our students. And then, of course, we are one of the 2 intensive research universities in North Carolina. So our motto is definitely think and do the extraordinary. So like I mentioned, we are creating new knowledge all the time, and you do have the opportunity to be engaged in undergraduate research. And so one of the best ways to find out about the type of research that are currently going on would be to utilize the database. And so there is a database that will tell you pretty much what is happening, and then maybe you can definitely get connected with that faculty member. If you do have an interest in having your own independent research started here, you do have the option as well. And we encourage you to take advantage of the undergraduate research office because there may be funding for that as well. And of course, you will be taking classes with professors within the major that you're interested in. So speak with them, have that conversation with them. They can help you with that process as well. From a personal experience, I just had a quick meeting with one of my professors, and through that conversation, we just talked about what kind of research that I may be interested in. And then we actually started the research basically the same semester. And then it became in collaboration with 2 other institutions, and it was great. And then through that same conversation, I also found another research position, and that one was paid for. So I wasn't expecting that. But again, you never know what is going to happen. So definitely encourage you to speak with your professor. And then, of course, on the picture, the research is basically, working in the lab wearing the white coat. I was from a non-STEM background, so that is not what I did not have to work in a lab. My research was basically on the laptop, reading, writing, doing statistical analysis and all of that. So that kind of shows you that no matter which major you're in, you definitely have an opportunity to be engaged in undergraduate research. And of course, through undergraduate research, we do have over 170 startups and spinoffs. So if you do have any idea that you want to turn into a tangible product, you definitely have that option at NC State. We do have an entrepreneurship garage located on Centennial Campus, and they have different resources, tools, and even like a mentorship program where you can partner up with someone that is a local entrepreneur within the area, and they can help you with that process as well. So no matter what, that is going to be an option for many of our students. And if you do have the entrepreneurship spirit within you, just know that NC State is actually ranked number 10 for undergraduate entrepreneurship as well. So I highly encourage all students to take advantage of that. And not only that, of course, right now our campus is closed, but it does not mean that we have stopped developing new products, especially from our faculty, alumni, and students as well. So our current graduate engineering students are actually 3D printing face shields on Centennial Campus for local healthcare organizations. And at the Non-Woven Institute located on Centennial Campus, they are designing specially designed fabrics to be delivered to manufacturers across the country to make face masks as well. And then a spirits company founded by an NC State alumni and an NC State faculty member have also allocated half of their production line to making hand sanitizers. So that kind of just shows you what the Wolfpack community can do when they come together. And of course, we do have study abroad opportunities at NC State as well. And so there is one special program that we have, which is called the NC State European Center in Prague, Czech Republic. So within this program, you will be taking classes with NC State faculty and NC State students, but in a different country. So you kind of have something that is really familiar within the classroom, but then outside of the classroom, you're going to be in a new country, new culture, new environment. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. However, if you want to venture out of that, there are over 200 programs that you can choose from, and they can range from a semester long to a year-long program as well. And if not, you can also do an alternative service break, so during your spring break or for your fall break as well. And they also have summer programs. So for me, I actually did go to Taiwan for a semester, and I was able to take classes for my major and for my minor, and they were able to transfer back, so it did not hinder me from graduation at all. And that was definitely one of the best decisions I've ever made. And since I did have a Chinese minor, I was actually able to utilize that. No one spoke to me in English, and that was definitely the best part because I really needed to practice my Mandarin. So if you have an interest in study abroad, I highly encourage you to speak with your academic advisor and have that process started. And of course, since we are a big institution, we do have many student organizations. So at NC State, we do have over 700 student organizations. So if you have any type of organizations that you are involved in right now, it doesn't mean that you have to stop while you're in college. Definitely continue whatever you're currently involved in while you're in college as well. And this is definitely one of the ways to be connected to the institutions and also to be connected to the student body as well. And I also encourage students to use student organizations to build their resume as well. And if we don't have something for you, you are definitely able to start your own organization as well. You just need 5 friends and 1 either faculty or staff member, and you can add to that 700 plus organizations. And then one of the best ways to find out about the organization would be through Wolfpack Welcome Week. And so that is essentially the first week of the semester, and that is when the university welcomes you to campus. And so then we have different events all over our main campus, and you get to speak with the different organizations and then sign up for those organizations. And then at the end of the week, we have an event called PACAPalooza. And so that is when we have a street that's called Hillsborough Street right off of main campus. The university shuts it down, and then all of the organizations are present under their tents, and you can actually speak with them, learn more about it, sign up for the organizations. We have food trucks, and then we end the night with a concert and firework at the bell tower. So this is definitely one of the best ways to start the academic year as well. All right, so now let's transition to academics. So at NC State, we do offer over 100 majors, and so that's a lot. Right now on the screen, these are just the top 10 majors that our last admitted class chose. So as you can see, even though we are known for STEM, around 43% of our students are actually enrolled in a non-STEM major. And then one program that I would really like to talk about is called Exploratory Studies. And so if you don't know what you want to do yet, that is okay. You can definitely apply to NC State as undecided. And the Exploratory Studies program is essentially an intensive advising program for your first year. And so you get to work with an academic advisor, take a course with them, and they will help you with your personal enrichment as well as academic enrichment as well. And then throughout the entire year, you will also receive advice and resources about career exploration as well. And then at the end of the year is when you are making that informed decision. And so that is a very popular program for many of our students. So around 20% of our students do enter as exploratory studies. All right, so now let's talk about how to have a complete application for NC State. We are available on the Common App or the Coalition app. We do not have a preference for which one you use. All you have to do is select one. There is an $85 application fee at the end, but if you do qualify for a fee waiver, please speak with your high school counselor. We do accept fee waivers, but we do not provide fee waivers. And then of course, your official high school transcript. For that, all you have to do is request it from your high school counselor to be sent to NC State. And then of course, we are test optional for fall 2021, so which means that we are not expecting test scores to be reported. However, if you think that it can benefit you, you have the option to self-report on the application as well. And on the application, we do ask, would you like to submit your test scores or not? So if you select no, then your test scores will not be taken into consideration, and it is not going to negatively impact your application at all. And then we also do not require letters of recommendations, but if you would like to send them in, we will accept it. And then if you do report your test scores, just know that we do not need the writing section on the SAT or the ACT either. There is a required essay, but that's already part of your application itself. And that is pretty much it on how to have a complete application. All right, so now important dates and deadlines to remember. So we do have 2 different deadlines. First is going to be the early action deadline, which is going to be on November 1st, and then students will be notified on January 30th. However, if we do have students that are interested in a studio-based major, so that can be architecture, graphic design, industrial design, or anything that falls within that category, your final deadline will be on November 1st, and then you do have to submit a portfolio as well as an additional essay. And we do recommend submitting your application as soon as you can, because you have to upload those supplemental documents through your Wolfpack account, which takes about 2 weeks for you to receive access to. So at this point, I would encourage you guys to go ahead and submit it as soon as you can. And of course, we do recommend students applying by the early action deadline because they do receive priority consideration for the honors and scholars program or for any of the merit-based scholarships as well. And then our second deadline will be the regular decision deadline, and that is going to be on January 15th, and then students will be notified on March 30th. And of course, we are non-binding, so which means that no matter which deadline that you apply for, you still have until May 1st to confirm your enrollment. All right, so now let's go over the review process. So at NC State, we do take a holistic review process, which means that we do widen the lens to look at the different factors so that no one factor will make or break that decision. At the forefront of the review process will be your academic achievements. So here we're looking for strong grades and challenging courses beginning your first year of high school. So that can be honors, AP, IB, or dual enrollment. And like I mentioned, we are looking for strong grades, and so we do not have a set GPA that we're looking for. And so most of our competitive students are making A's and B's, but mostly A's. And then, of course, we are going to be test optional for fall 2021. So you do not have to report your test scores if you don't have any. We're not expecting it, but you have the option to report if you would like to, and if you think that it can benefit your application. And at NC State, we do super score for you. So if you have multiple test scores, you are also able to report multiple test scores as well. And what happens is that we look at the highest subsection of each of the test dates to create that super score for you. And then you're interested in the program that you are applying for. So at NC State, we do directly admit students into the program that they select on the application. On the application itself, we do have a first choice major and a second choice major. Students are reviewed for their first choice, but if they're not competitive enough for their first choice, we do review them for their second choice. So we recommend you put 2 different majors so that you could potentially be admitted into your second choice if you're not competitive enough for your first one. And we do ask, why are you interested in the program you're applying for? We recommend writing about both of the programs that you selected. And then, of course, your accomplishments and involvement outside of the classroom. So here we are interested in seeing what you are investing your time in outside of the classroom. So that can be sports, arts, drama, theater, volunteering, working, taking care of a family member. We do understand that it is going to be very different this year, but definitely share anything that you're investing your time in outside of the classroom. We would love to see that. And then your background and opportunities. So we do understand that different high schools have different curriculums, grading scales, course offerings, and all of that. And so then your application will be looked at within the context that you're coming from. And then finally, your individual story. So this is definitely the essay portion of the application. So this is where we are getting to know you as a person and as an individual and not as a number on the application. So many students do ask, how do I stand out on the application process? I always encourage them to definitely use this time to stand out because again, this is where we are getting to know you as a person. And this is where you're sharing who you are as a person, who you are as an individual, and in parts that we haven't seen in the other parts of the application as well. And if you did have an academic performance that that hinder a little bit, you can also use this time to explain that as well. But that is pretty much it for the holistic review process. And so now let's talk about scholarship. So like I mentioned, we do recommend students applying by the early action deadline. So they do have the priority consideration for scholarship opportunities. So the first one we're going to talk about is the Park Scholarship, which is a full ride to NC State. This one is awarded on the basis of leadership, service, accomplishment, and character. This one is open to both in-state and out-of-state students. And there is a nomination process for this. So typically students are nominated through their high school counselor. But if you think that you qualify for it, you can go through the self-nomination process as well. I won't talk too much about Goodnight because that is only for North Carolina residents only. And then finally, it is going to be PAC Assist. And PAC Assist is basically a portal where you can find more scholarships. So as soon as you receive your decision, you have access to PAC Assist, and that website will screen you for anything that you qualify for, and you can go ahead and basically apply to those scholarships. And then, of course, there is a free application for federal student aid, and that was available starting on October 1st. This one is on a first come, first serve income basis, and we do encourage all students to apply for it because you never know what you may qualify for, and this can only help you and not harm you. So that is pretty much it for the presentation, so we can definitely open up for a Q&A now.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that presentation, Ton. And my name is Kaylee Richter. I'm one of the assistant directors in our office, and I'll be facilitating any questions that come through. So feel free to post your questions in the Q&A at this time. All right, and Ton, we did have a question come through earlier about the process for double majoring at NC State. So could you talk a little bit about what that looks like?
Yes. So it's really easy to add or switch your major at NC State. We do have a process that is called the change of degree application, and that's the process to adding a major or to switching a major. You just have to meet some of the requisites that they have for the major that you are interested in, then go through that process, and then you can pretty much just add or switch a major at NC State.
Awesome, thank you. And then one of the other questions was related to double majoring, but more about certain majors if they're located in different academic buildings. Is that still feasible for students who are taking classes in 2 different programs?
Yes, so I would say you can definitely navigate campus pretty easily. We do have a bus system that pretty much takes you all over main campus. I didn't have too many issues with navigating between my business classes and my international studies courses. They were like on the opposite side of campus, but we have the bus system that makes it really easy to get around, and you do have 15 minutes in between each class as well. So it's pretty much an easy time to, take different classes between different departments and then get between the different buildings as well.
Awesome. And we do have another question that came through that I'm happy to answer. So one student asked if you have to apply for that double major at NC State or if that happens later on. So on NC State's application, you will apply into one program and be admitted into only one program. You can pick a first and second choice major on the application, but ultimately, once you receive your decision, if you're accepted, it'll only be for one of those. And so usually after you do at least a semester's worth of coursework at NC State, at that point is when you would work with your advisor to apply to add another major or to add any minors. And then Ton, we have another question that just came through. Where can students see the course requirements for majors that they're interested in?
Sorry, I was muted. On the undergraduate admissions website, we do have a Discover tab, and that is where you get to pretty much see all of our majors and minors. And so you can actually search by major, and then on that link, it will basically give you a semester by semester page, and that's where you can pretty much see all of the courses that you need for the degree program that you're interested in.
Perfect. And then another question that came through is, what are the extracurricular activities that NC State likes to see on an application?
That's a great question. So like I mentioned, it is really going to be different. So we are just wanting to see what you are investing your time in. So pre-COVID, a lot of students are definitely involved in sports, drama, theater, definitely volunteering, or they're working. So that's something that we know is not going to be the same moving forward. So if you are involved in something that is online right now and it's related to your major, definitely share that with us. We would love to see that you do have an interest in the program that you selected, and maybe you're still involved in some sort of organizations or like an online club or anything that you think that can benefit you in the application. You can definitely put that on there. But it really does vary depending on the student and depending on the activities that are offered at the high school.
All right, and so another question we have that just came through, would Latin Honor Society be good for an education major? So I believe that Latin Honor Society would be a club the student's interested in joining. And whoever posted that question, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, I mean, that definitely shows that you have an interest in learning to continue learning a different language, even though everyone says it's a dead language, but I also took Latin in high school too. But for sure, that is something that you can definitely put that on your application.
Awesome, and I'll give it a few more seconds to see if any other questions come through. All right, it doesn't look like we have any other questions.
All right, so in that case, I'll just say one last thing. On this screen, this is the contact information for NC State. If you would like to stay connected with us, please connect with us on the different social media platforms that we do have. And then we do have the college specific information section on the right side. So if you do have an interest in any of the programs that are available at NC State, we encourage you to contact them directly as well.
Well, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation from NC State, and we appreciate your time in joining our program today. For those of you who are joining us live, there is a quick survey at the end of this session, and we'd appreciate your feedback. Also, you can visit the PACAC website at www.pacac.org/virtual to view our full schedule through November 6th and to view recordings of any of our sessions. We appreciate you joining us and have a great day.